Hello, my name is Roy Cohen, and I'll be hosting this week's edition of the Community Forum Show, and we have a very informative show lined up for you. And I'll start off by introducing some of our guests, all of our guests. To my left is Sharon Fradkin. She's the chair of the capital campaign for SOLA, which is what's the SOLA?
Support Our Library Association, Inc.
Inc., okay. And next to Sharon is Steve Tyre, without the L. And he's the administrator at Copley at Stoughton. Next to Steve is Dolores Cummings. She's the president of SOLA. She's excited to be in that position. And next to Dolores is Steve Wilkinson. He's a member of the board of directors and a member of the Capital Campaign Committee. And last but not least, Steve Fradkin. We all remember Steve Fradkin. He's a consultant for the materials donated, all the writing and layout for the Library of Tomorrow brochure, letters to the potential donors, some of the ads that we've seen. And I've always said about Steve, he's able to sell ice to the Eskimos. And I want to welcome you all here.
Maybe we could find some Eskimos.
We'll find some Eskimos for you, Steve. We'll start off with a little video that both Jeff Pickett and C.J. Mullen were involved in. It's a very short, descriptive video of what's going on in that building that we all see when we're stuck in traffic on the way into Stoughton Square. So why don't we push the button and have a look.
Hi, my name is Pat Basler. I am the library director of the Stoughton Public Library, and today is Thursday, May 24th, 2018, and we are very excited to do our first walkthrough of the new library during its construction. Today we have a gathering of people that consists of some members of the Library Building Committee and some of our library trustees. We have the interim town manager and other people on the committee that have helped us put this project together, as well as some of the members of the contracting team that are building this project. Next to me is Tom Gatzunas. He is our owner's project manager, and he will give you a little background on where we are so far.
Thanks, Pat. So we're about 50% through construction. The exterior skin of the building is starting to go on. If you drive by, you'll see that there's glass up. The metal panels are going in. Most of the mechanical systems, all the rough work is about completed. We're going to have inspections performed next week by the local building electrical and plumbing inspector, and fire department will come through and do their rough inspections, and then we'll start putting the drywall up on the walls. So it's an exciting time. Things just will really start to shape up, and people will really get the feel for the size of the rooms and spaces. Right now, as you will see when we do the walkthrough, it's all metal studs, all rough framing. It's pretty much completed, so you get an idea of the room layouts, but the wall board hasn't gone up yet, so you really don't get that sense of exactly how large or small the spaces are going to be. But for the most part, they're all very large, very spacious, and it's going to be a great library for the town of Stoughton.
Thank you for joining us on this tour. I do want to give a special thanks to M. O'Connor, who is the contractor for this project, and Feingold Alexander are our architects who have designed this beautiful building, and Daedalus Projects, who have provided great owner's project management to make sure that the town gets what we are planning on getting.
Thank you, Pat. We anticipate the building will be completed in mid-October, so we look forward to that grand opening at that time. I think it'll be very exciting for everybody. The parking lot will be done thanks to town meeting vote and getting those additional funds, so we'll be able to expand that parking lot as well, and it's really going to be a great facility for the town.
And again, come visit us in the meantime at 529 Washington Street. That's where the temporary Stoughton Public Library is, and we can't wait to all get back in our new building.
Well, that's really exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Really exciting. It's a brief snippet of the full video, the 20-minute video, which was shot by both Jeff Pickett and C.J. Mullen. Beautiful job. These guys have really come a long way since they've started with SMAC over the years, and it's very professionally done. We hope that you'll be able to watch the full video. It's on SMAC site. You can watch the whole 20-minute video. The walkthrough was conducted in the last week of May of this year, and look forward to the completion. I'm really excited. It's a lot better than looking at a bunch of beams.
Yeah. Yes.
It's getting there.
Oh, it is.
I congratulate everybody who's involved in this project, and look forward to moving the books back. That's
The books, yeah, moving
books.
the books
Right.
back, right.
We're here to talk about the fundraising part of it. Sharon, maybe you can bring us up to date on the naming opportunities and what's involved there.
Well, and I want people to understand, most libraries around the country have foundations, they have big endowments, they have lots of money given to them over the years. In towns like Stoughton that are fairly middle-class towns, that doesn't always happen. So this is kind of a once-in-a-half-a-century opportunity to name some rooms, to have people be able to give and gift to the library for even ongoing needs. We may have some needs that have to use this money for immediately. I mean, certainly landscaping and some of the things inside. We're looking to buy a 3D printer, and that's not covered in a grant. But we want the library and the kids and adults that use the library to have everything that they possibly can have to make the experience good. So that's the effort, to name and gift and, do as much as we all can, on the SOLA side, to make sure the library has something to fall back on for needs that are now and then in the future.
It's great.
Yeah, it is great.
It's good to see the things that are happening in our sleepy little town. You get the high school down the street, which is amazingly large, and looking forward to that being done. But
Right.
we'll stick with the subject of the fundraising in the library. Is this a time to show the list?
Well, yeah, it probably is. We did, the brochure that some people have seen, and if you want one, certainly you can give me a
All
call.
right, let's start off with showing the brochure that Steve Fratkin was very generous in laying out. Steve, you want to talk about it?
Sure. We decided, after considerable thought, that it would be a good idea to emphasize what we're doing with the money. Building a building is one thing, but the building only houses the library. What a library is the people who run the library and the programs that they do and the services that they're able to offer. And libraries today are so much more involved than they used to be. It used to be a place you go borrow a book and come back and bring it back 3 days late and pay 2 cents a day fine. The Library of Tomorrow is going to offer a lot more services and a lot more facilities, state-of-the-art computers, for example, both for the library and for the people who use the library. There are going to be, 20 computer stations, I think?
Yes, that's double.
Double the amount that we presently have. So we decided to emphasize the Library of Tomorrow as a theme for what this library is about. It's not so much the building. The building is today, but the services of the library and the things that they can do and the extras that they're able to offer. We decided we would put that into a brochure and and get people thinking positively about what the library, not only positively, but excitedly about what the library is going to be in the future.
And they are starting to respond.
Yeah.
Oh, it's starting to respond?
I mean, this is a good chance for Steve Tyre to speak.
The response has been considerably better than I thought it was going to be.
Well, that's great.
People are just, I mean, my wife, as you know, is the chairman, and we've been getting phone calls in our house at all hours of the day. People calling up, oh, I want to donate a computer station, oh, I want to buy a room, and so forth. And the list is quickly dwindling.
When you say computer station, does that include computers, or do people bring their own in?
No. That includes the computers.
Macs?
I don't know what.
PCs?
I think
does
they're going to be
anyone know? I
PCs.
don't know
I'm
what
not
computer,
sure.
probably PCs.
Oh,
But
PCs is by far the more popular platform.
there are 10 computer stations now at the library, and you can just walk in any time of day. Inevitably, half, if not all of them, are in use. Kids use them, people who are out of work, people who may not have a good up-to-date computer at home, people who don't even have a quiet place to use a computer in their homes. You know, we don't all realize what everybody else's life is like. So, I mean, personally, you know, we're thrilled with Copley at Stoughton stepping up to help us. They've made a considerable donation of, I don't know if it may be worth now putting up these naming
no,
opportunities.
we'll let him talk about it first, and then we'll put
Okay,
up the list.
so they're going to be naming the covered porch and front entrance, which is going to be just beautiful. So.
Mr. Tyre, your
Good.
turn.
Thank you. Well, it's not just
No,
Copley,
thank
so-
you.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you're all welcome. Copley's kind of a unique place in Stoughton here, right? And some of you have been my customers, and people watching this have. So we're very committed to the community. We only market to Stoughton, that's who we look for. We are very lucky that our majority owner is the Goddard Health Foundation, that many will recognize as the old Goddard Hospital. When it was sold and disbanded, it was left with the Goddard Health Foundation, which is represented by an attorney who most of you know, Maria O'Connell-Lunda, and you'll recognize those names. We are all Stoughton people, born and raised here. So when this issue came up, Mrs. Cummings asked me if I would give a donation, and I can't say no to her because I've known her since I was about 4 years old. I can't believe it's been 50 years since the last library was built, but anyways.
Yeah, it has.
When this came up, it fit our mission perfect. You know, Goddard's mission is to enhance the welfare, the health, and education of the communities they serve. Our mission is to care for the elderly in town. We feel a strong Stoughton with a new library, with a new high school. It's just going to make my business better. It's going to make everything we want to do so much better. So we were talking about this, the secret's out, before you guys came to see us. We actually funded a trip for some kids to the Science Museum. And from that, Lynn Jarden got in touch with Maria. She knew her from somewhere. Said, oh, what about the library? Maria and I were already talking about what we were going to do.
Right.
So we were lucky enough to contribute $50,000 to this, half from Copley, half from the Goddard Health Foundation.
Right.
We're pleased to do it. I think it'll just be one feather in the cap of the library and all of you guys.
Right, absolutely.
Yes.
It'll be great for the town.
Yeah, SOLA is really, really
We don't
pleased.
normally do this, but
Yeah.
this
Yay for Copley.
thank you, sir.
You're very
And we
welcome.
are
It's
so
our pleasure.
fortunate because there are, while this is, I'm going to say, probably it's the largest donation that's taken on our list. If any of you care, there's still the main community room, which we've years ago called the Wales French Room, which can be called the Roy Cohen Room.
Hey, that'd be nice.
And it's $100,000.
The checks in the mail.
The checks in the mail. But, you know, there are people in town who have been quite successful. And while they may not still live in town, they do care about the town. We've had we have had a wonderful donation of the Children's Story and Craft Room from a family that emigrated from Mumbai, India, and cares about the education and welfare of children and families here and their own. And they felt they got a leg up in America, and they can give a leg up in Stoughton where they've lived for many years.
How nice.
So they're donating, have already given us the check for the Children's Story and Craft Room.
Excellent. Why don't we show the list?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Gina? There we go.
There we go. Can you read that?
I-
I can hardly read it,
The
'cause that's
the
me.
main community room is a $100,000 donation.
And let me say something about that
Sure.
community room. It can be named for a group of people. It can be an organization, but it also could be, I don't want to say this, but like the four of us could get together and say, fine, we're doing it. It can be any group of any number of people that have the money and resources to be able to do this. And if necessary, a donation of that size could be paid out over a few years.
Okay, as we go through the list, if they are committed, you can say so.
Okay,
The next one would be the covered porch in the front entrance.
committed.
Committed.
Yes, right
Those-
here,
those
next,
asterisks.
right here,
Committed.
right here.
Those asterisks
The
mean that
asterisk,
it's
if you
committed.
can see.
Oh, the
Yeah.
asterisk is
They mean
committed.
committed, yeah. Some
Excellent.
things have changed, yeah.
The number of asterisks indicate the number of items already taken. No asterisk indicates still open.
Right.
Okay. The next one that's you already mentioned is committed is the children's story and
Right.
craft room.
Right.
Next one is a conference training room.
And that has just
$25,000.
been committed by a former Stoughton High person.
Excellent. And the next one that's available is the teen maker space room. What is that?
Do you have any better knowledge than I might have of that room? I mean,
I think it's going to be a room where they're going to have a lot of the
The STEM and STEAM
Yeah,
stuff?
all that stuff.
do you know what
that-
STEM and STEAM
No,
are?
I don't.
Well, it's, these various programs that SOLA sponsors. I'm trying to think.
Well, STEM
One
is
the-
science,
yeah,
technology,
right.
Engineering, I think,
And
Yeah,
mathematics.
And STEAM put arts in the middle of STEM.
Right.
And both of those subjects, they're very big in education these days. And actually, the arts have really made their way into education. And so the teens and the younger kids as well, but they need a space to do experiments, to do different kinds of things that school can do in the curriculum, but maybe not all.
Right.
Okay,
So-
what's the next one up there? If we can have that chart again. The next one is the multicultural learning area, which is committed. That's a $25,000 gift.
Yeah, and
The
Harbor
trust-
One has made that gift.
Oh, nice.
And we're actually going to meet with them next week and do a picture and photo shoot, et
Excellent.
cetera.
The
Yeah.
trustees historical room,
Open.
which is, what do you want to do with that?
Well, it's going to house a lot of the historical information and
People
papers
that were
and things
involved
like
over the
that.
years and stuff.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if it's a room that's there now or just a small little cubby hole,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll be bigger, and we're hoping somebody comes forward.
Excuse me. Apparently, there's a lot of genealogical information in there.
Right.
For people who are looking, for information that the library has and the Historical Society doesn't have, I guess.
So, I mean, for somebody that really cares about the history of Stoughton and the past and wants to preserve everything for the future, this is a great room to purchase.
Right.
Next one, looks like there's two available,
Right.
the quiet study rooms.
Steve, do you know enough about the quiet study rooms and what they're going to be to talk about that?
Gotta be quiet.
Yeah, it's an area where people can go and, the library is generally quiet, but there could be things going on because there's a lot of activities going on in the library. This gives somebody an area where they can go and have a quiet space if they need working on a project or, something they need to focus on and have concentration.
And in
Gives them that
addition, in that
opportunity.
room, oh, go ahead.
No, I think that those rooms will also be used for one-on-one tutorial.
Correct, for the
The
ESOL
ESL?
program,
Yeah.
too. The
Nice,
English as
yep.
a second language, which is a very big program at our library. This year, in addition to, at the end of the program, 32 or 33 students got their citizenship.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know.
That's just out of Stoughton.
Just in
in
Stoughton,
Stoughton,
right.
yeah.
And I don't know, you didn't end up at that. I wasn't at that event.
No, I had.
But they did have a potluck supper for all the students, and everybody cooked, and it was really quite an exciting thing. The state reps and our state senators all came.
Oh, nice.
And they are fully in support of this. They're on our steering committee as in the SOLA fundraising. So they need to tutor in those rooms, and they need a space that it'll have glass, but it will be quiet, and you won't be able to heat. You'll be able to not be into. Now you walk into the library now, the temporary library, they're tutoring at a table like me and you, and everybody else is walking around. And it's not great tutoring, so.
It's good for
Well,
now.
it's what it is.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of some of the groups are conversational groups, so it doesn't matter. They
Right.
don't need a quiet room.
Right.
But when you have a one-on-one situation, you really need a quiet room.
Do you find that there's new people coming into the temporary library?
Absolutely, absolutely, because there are people who have never, the parking, of course, was such a problem.
Right.
And now, they can park right there, as they'll be able to do at the new library. But I think too, people going by, they see that sign, or they're going to the hardware or whatever, and yeah, lots more people.
I know this may be a building type question, but you're talking about, you have the studs up there now, they're going to wall board. Are they going to insulate in between the wall board?
Oh, I
in
assume
these-
so. I mean, I don't
for
know anything
soundproofing?
about the building itself. I mean, I'm not on the building
The
committee.
study rooms will be soundproofed in some way.
No, but
I
he's
don't- we
talking
don't
about
know.
the outside.
I'm
I
talking
don't
about
know. Don't know.
overall.
Oh,
We
yeah,
don't
well,
know.
it's all very up-to-date building, so obviously they're going to have to
Okay.
have insulation.
Can we have the chart back up again, please? Okay, the next one is what, the art gallery
Yeah, the art
area?
gallery,
That's
yeah.
already committed?
Right,
The
that's committed.
Francis Daly reading area is committed. Who is Francis Daly?
It's not committed. There's been a change, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Francis Daly was apparently a beloved teacher at the high school and also a library trustee
He
for
was,
many
he
years.
was for many
Yeah.
years.
If anybody notices, at the corner of Walnut and Park Street, where the current the regular library is, it says Francis Daly Square.
Oh, nice.
And he gave much of his time and effort to the town. And so they had named a reading area, the Francis Daly Reading Area,
Nice.
many, many years ago in his honor. So the trustees want to still call it the Francis Daly Reading Area with a little plaque, but the reading area is open to be renamed in a larger sense. So
Okay.
anybody who had him as a teacher and wants to come forward, that'd be great.
That'd really be nice. Okay, next on the list is the porch
Yep.
benches. There's 4 of them, and 2 of them are committed.
And Dolores' son donated one of them in her honor.
Oh, nice.
Which is nice. And actually, Bob Rivers, who is the CEO of Eastern Bank, is a Stoughton High grad, and his mother Mary still lives in town, and he is taking another bench personally to in his mother's honor.
Okay,
Eastern Bank also has given us a substantial donation from the Eastern Bank Foundation.
nice. The
And
tall,
we're not sure what we're going to use that money for in terms of naming. They were wonderful in saying, use it for as appropriate as you wish.
tall book stacks,
So
numerous.
the thing with the book stacks, they're new. I mean, the old book stacks were saved in case, but we've been able to buy some new book stacks, so vision is better. And they can have plaques on them, and so we have had some inquiries, and you can put 1 or 2 plaques or 3 on the large book stacks. So it's not a tremendous amount of money, so if people are interested, they maybe could split one of the tall book stacks and, split $5,000 2 or 3 ways and, have a name on that.
Okay, next on the list, short book stacks.
Same thing
For
as
little
tall,
people-
but
little people.
shorter. In the kids' area,
In the kids'
maybe,
area.
yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, computer stations. There are 20 of them available, and 3 of them are committed.
So actually now 5 are committed.
5 are committed, $2,000 apiece.
Now, I got to say something about those, and I don't want to be so all the
Go
talk,
for
but
it.
to me, for a small business that wants to be part of the library but doesn't have the resources to do $25,000 or $50,000, you'll have a small plaque next to that computer station. Everybody that sits there will see your name day after day, year after year, till the computers are replaced, probably 5 to 10 years.
Oh, at least.
So to me, that's the best, because I formerly was in advertising and marketing, with my husband, that's the best, as far as I'm concerned, the best advertising vehicle offered here for a business. Because everyone's going to see it. It certainly can be for an individual. And actually, in the people that have already taken them, some are individuals, 2 businesses, 2 individuals. But, it is a way for a business in town that isn't able to make a more substantial contribution to get their name seen.
People
So
probably
that's it.
won't call immediately seeing your name on the computer station. But at the same time, when they go looking for, say, for example, a real estate agent, and your name shows up,
Right.
they'll say, "Oh, I heard of them someplace."
Right.
And that's where it's going to.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
So that's
What?
that.
Why? This is kind of a silly question, but why is the library of tomorrow important to Stoughton? Anybody can answer that.
I'd love Steve to talk about that.
Well, my thought is that the library is the most important building in town. We have other places that are important for groups, but for everybody, the library is the most important. And I get that from my father. My father was always reading a book. And if he ever disappeared and we weren't sure where he was, if we went to the library, that's usually where he was. He always had at least one book going, sometimes 2 or 3, and he used to read the dictionary as well. So he kind of inspired my love of reading and books. And I just think it's great to have a place where you can go and learn, and everybody can go and learn, whether they're 5 or 105. So.
How do you figure we're going to reach the goal of the
talking
financial
to
goal?
me?
Sure. You look like
well,
you're ready to answer.
I think that there are probably more people out there who are going, businesses and so forth, who are going to give us money for one of these remaining opportunities. But we're shortly going to roll out some opportunities at a lower level. Sharon will talk about that, I'm sure.
I mean, we're trying not to
But- right,
roll it out
but
too quickly. 'Cause we're not
Then
all
we
ready.
hope to reach many people in the town.
I think you have a lot of potentially wealthy people in this town. If you go to the outbursts up around Ames Pond or in some of
Yes.
these other streets.
Would you
they're-
call them?
Do you have a list of Roy?
Would you call them?
Yeah, do you have a list of those, Roy?
In all honesty, as Steve Tyler was saying before, if you know people, then you talk to people and you mention something to people, and they may say, "Gee, I never really thought about
I
that."
think once you see who's giving, no one wants to be first and jump in,
Right.
But once they see the names of who's giving and the families in town who have been here for years and years and years, who are contributing, who got a lot out of Stoughton, built the businesses from Stoughton, kids, grandchildren themselves, as Steve was saying, using the library. That was a big thing for Maria and I. We remember going there when we were kids in high school and being
Right.
told to shh, be quiet and all this. Then,
Well, you were noisy?
well,
He
we'll
sounded like a
tell stories about the
troublemaker.
library another time. But then bringing our kids there with Peggy Sewick.
Oh my God,
I
Peggy
mean,
Stewart.
She still there.
It was so
Yep.
good. It made us feel good just to contribute this. And
Thank you.
our businesses, it's perfect for our business. And I think as you see more people in town who have businesses here, who have got things from Stoughton for many, 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 many years, they will contribute also.
I mean, that's why the art gallery area, the Phillips Family Town Spa, has named that. And they said, we're Stoughton icons, so
Sure,
we need to
sure.
step up. And I think that's a great attitude.
I know that this list will be sold out in the near future.
That's our hope and expectation.
What happens with excess money that you bring in? What are you going to be doing with that? What are the plans?
We're all going to Mexico.
Each year, SOLA has responsibility for many of the library programs. So the money that is left over will support all those programs for, I don't know, years.
I mean, and if it's certainly substantial, it'll be invested appropriately.
Oh,
so that
absolutely. It'll be
gives the
invested
library some
and
ongoing funds.
it'll be there. There may be things that come up that the library building committee and Pat haven't thought of. Big things. We'll have the money to do it.
Right.
We hope.
Will they be hiring more folks to man the property, man the building?
Not too many. That was part of the reason why it was built the way it was, so that they wouldn't have to add a lot of different personnel
Really?
or additional personnel.
Because obviously, people working in areas need to be kept an eye on.
Yes.
They need to have some supervision available. So I don't know if you recognized on the video, this is going to be 2.5 floors, really. There's the first floor, there's the second floor that looks like the big overlook, but actually there's another kind of mezzanine up, and there's a big, big space up there. And so in order to be able to have people in different places and watch what's going on, you know, they did try to do it in a very compact way. There is an elevator, which is really important, because that was one of the reasons why the library was not in full compliance and would have had to spend a lot of money regardless. If they didn't build a new library, a lot of the town's money was going to have to be spent on the library to bring it to where it needed to be.
For those that are physically able to, the old staircase is still there.
Yeah, the builders and everybody said it's in very good condition. And you know, when we all saw it, we went like, oh, that feels
Yeah,
comfortable.
it's nice.
But I think they're changing the railings. That I think they said something. Did they about glass railings or something? But so there's definitely going to be some changes. But I think when you walk in, it's kind of going to feel like the library. Just the circulation rooms when you first walk in. So it's not like a desk kind of in the middle, but there's still going to be a circulation
Well,
area.
there's going to be a circulation area, a circulation desk.
Yeah.
Off to the right as you come in.
And the teen, the space that that the family took, I just can't remember the name of it, the children's story and craft is kind of towards the back, you know, well lighted, but in an area where, you know, kids can kind of hang out and feel a little freer to talk to one another, maybe to talk to whoever is running the course or whatever programming they're doing.
And then I think outside that area, there will be the low stacks for
Right.
for the children's books.
Right.
When people donate, they're going to have plaques made with their names on them. Those plaques, I would assume, are permanent forever,
As long as that library
Right.
stands.
which will be forever.
Well,
Well.
no, every 50 years there seems to be a new library.
The current library isn't forever, so why should this one be?
Are there any plaques in there that are going to become obsolete?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
You know, I don't think that they named, when they built the
No.
last library, I don't think they did naming like this.
Well, they had
I
the
think
Whale
this is the
Stretcher.
first time they really have looked towards the future, you know, for naming and having some kind of money, you
I
know,
think
available.
I think last time it was fully funded.
Now, when it
Yeah.
comes to receiving donations, are there any donations, potential donors that are being rejected? No,
No, that's I understand, you're just trying to be provocative here.
No, I'm not trying to be.
Yes, he
I'm
is.
just thinking in terms of a casino that's being built.
Uh-huh.
And it was named for the main donor who
Right.
has fallen into disrepair reputationally.
Yes, I know what you mean.
So the name is no longer there. So, I don't mean to be silly on this, but everybody's donation will be accepted.
A couple of people in Washington we might reject. But
The donation, I mean, SOLA is the 501c3 nonprofit organization, so we can accept donations. But the library trustees made the decision of what rooms could be named, what areas could be named. We didn't decide
No,
that.
we didn't. We
so
had
the
nothing to do
trustees
with it.
probably, if there was somebody that reputation was really an issue, I would think the trustees would probably make that decision.
Right, you
not
have
us.
a comment in here that says the library trustees decided what could be named, keeping a good check that it doesn't become too commercial.
Correct. Like somebody said, what if we wanted it to be the Copley Public Library at Stoughton?
Yeah.
And the library
That's
trustees,
another
I mean,
100,000.
they didn't ask, so I'm not trying to make it seem like they wanted to do that. But, you know, it was a question that came up right at the beginning. What if somebody wants to rename the library? And in other towns, like the Turner Library in Randolph,
yeah.
there's lots of towns that have names of someone on
Who
them.
was Turner?
I don't know.
Oh,
It's Randolph, we don't care.
Right.
But the thing is, the trustees already had said no. They wanted it to be Stoughton Public Library, regardless of what anybody offered to rename it. The best, or the most flexibility we had was in the entrance and patio area, you know, downstairs, which is new. And that's, you know, what Copley and Goddard have taken.
Okay, for those of
or
us-
I should say have gifted.
For those of us who don't have the big bucks,
Correct.
you're going to offer small options.
We have something in the works
Are you
that,
ready to talk about that now?
I don't want to talk in great detail, but I want people to
still being
know.
designed. Still
Yeah,
being put
we're
together.
working on what
Like a
it's going to
tree.
be,
What's
some,
that?
Like a tree.
something.
Like a tree, and
Something.
it's being designed and manufactured here in Stoughton.
Yes, yeah.
Custom
And-
design.
But, you know, our goal is to have the larger items taken and named and gifted as appropriate, and then maybe in July, you know, we'll be able to have something ready, because certainly lots of families have come forward, and kids and people that want to do something in a much lower price range that, is something the rest of us can kind of afford.
I'd just like to say that the list, if people want to refer back to it, is on our website at supportourlibrary.org. So if you want to go and have some time to look at the list and you didn't quite copy it all down when it came up, you can go there and check it out. And there's also a button there that you can use to donate.
Oh,
There's
there.
the information right there.
Whether you want to make a donation as an annual membership or make a donation to this campaign, there's a place there where you can designate what you want to.
It's a PayPal button.
Right. So if you want to do
Sharon?
it that way.
Yes.
Your job now is to read that slide.
Okay, so it says SOLA, Support Our Library Association, Inc., and it's the website is supportourlibrary.org, and our Gmail address is solastoughton@gmail.com. My phone number, 781-856-5245, and we have a great page on Facebook called SOLA Stoughton. I do want to thank Steve Wilkinson for doing the website, because he
My
put
pleasure.
it up, kept
What a
it up,
guy,
and
what a
adds
guy.
to it regularly. So the brochure is on there, the list of naming opportunities is on there, lots of other information. And he's been updating it as things get taken. So that's a good thing.
One of
Excellent.
the things that we should emphasize, and we've said it before on the show, but I want to repeat it, and that is that SOLA is a 501c3 corporation.
Right.
Your contributions are tax deductible to the extent provided by law.
Right,
And so that's, that takes a chunk off of the amount that you're giving.
right.
And I would just like to say, SOLA was established to raise money for the library. That's all
That's all
we
it
do.
does. That's right.
People wonder.
In general.
We're not taking trips anywhere
We're
with
not
the money.
taking trips, we're not doing anything except supporting the library.
Okay.
That's it.
You don't
Yeah.
clean houses or anything?
And we have the support of the trustees. The library had to form a fundraising arm.
It was
in order
required to get the
In
grant.
order to get the grant. We are the fundraising arm that was formed.
Can you
So-
name the trustees?
Yeah, I
Few.
think so.
Can you?
Yeah, I
Oh,
can name
good for
Peggy
you.
Sewick.
Peggy Sewick?
Yep.
Yeah. Sue. Oh, I get the two of
I
them.
don't know.
mixed.
Sheila Osborne, a
Sheila
trustee?
Osborne, Harvey
Levinson.
and there's a
Barbara
new
Canavan,
one.
is she one?
There's a new one.
I don't know.
What about Barbara Canavan?
Yeah,
She's a
Barbara
trustee,
Canavan.
Yep. She's
Yes.
been a trustee for many years.
Right.
Yeah.
And Barbara Canavan and Frances Daly are we're brother and sister.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Frances has
Yes.
passed away. She is not. She's
Right.
with us, fortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
And she has been a trustee for years and is still going strong.
Yeah. You know, one of the things, and I think all of you guys probably can, I was not born in Stoughton, though we've lived here close to 50 years. But the stories that have come out in the conversations with people, I mean, and you're a perfect example, Steve. Well, Maria and I mean, there isn't a person that didn't have kids in the school system that didn't know the Underbus Company, because that's who picked up our kids every day.
Walter Under.
And Walter Under is Maria's father. was.
Father-in-law.
Father-in-law.
Nice man.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's people in Stoughton, and maybe this is true in every other town, there's relationships, there's knowledge, we did this together, we did that together, we were kids together, we jumped off the rock at the quarry together, whatever. There's a lot of those historical and funny, warm stories that I've been hearing, and I wish somebody would write a book about it, because
Yeah, we
they-
ought to have a story out
Yeah.
and have Jeff Pickett and C.J. Mullen go in there and video it.
yeah, well, you know.
That's a good idea.
The Historical Commission has done lately a bunch of those kinds of programs
Yeah.
of Old Stoughton and what it used to be like. And I would love to see them do, some of these stories. But the people that have been involved with the library are involved now,
Sure.
they were kids from before.
Do you remember the trolley cars that used to run through Stoughton Square?
I don't, I'm not that old.
Unfortunately,
Do you?
I'm almost that old, but not
Yeah.
quite. But when I was growing up, Stoughton was a completely different place. I mean, when I started going to the library, I was going to the CLAP, what is now the Lucius
Historical
Clap-
Society.
the Historical Society. So it's this new library is going to be just amazing. It
I'm
is.
excited. I
Yeah.
mean, this
Yeah.
video just kind of got
Yeah.
me going.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching this thing from the day they brought the steel in.
Right,
Right.
exactly,
Oh, man.
exactly.
But,
And people have seen the architectural renderings and how it's gonna look.
But
And
now-
they're gonna be like areas to just kind of sit down and chat.
Yep.
You know, there's gonna be an area that I might say, meet me here, we'll talk about the show for a half hour or something
Yeah.
like that. And as long as we're not being noisy and we're, you know, keeping there's gonna be places for that, spaces for that, which there never was.
Are they going to have hookups for cable TV in there? So, I mean,
Oh,
so,
yeah,
so
there's-
productions can go on?
Both of the
The rooms.
conference rooms will have flat screen, you know, stuff and
I
audio.
mean, will they be able to hook up in video?
I
and
I
do
can't
video?
Oh, I
imagine
assume so.
they won't, because I think it's gonna
only
be
to watch the show.
state of the art.
Huh?
Only to watch this show.
On a repeated loop.
Otherwise,
I think the plan, they've really taken a lot into consideration for being forward-thinking, you know, for what people need now, and that's where some of the money that we kind of can keep in abeyance, you know, will be good for, because if
Yes.
suddenly something new comes on the horizon and we want to be able to purchase that for the library,
Windows 11 comes out.
yeah, well, we'll be able to do
Watch
that.
this. This will be a chore for a test for the production person, Gina Coe. I would love it if she could put up on the screen the artist's rendering, complete with
Well,
the
look,
American
it's right behind
flag.
us, do you see it?
No? Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It's our backdrop.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that, but I want to see it by itself, if it's possible.
I don't know if she has
It's on the
that.
brochure.
Well, no, it's not.
It is
I
on the
just-
brochure.
I just
but
gotta
it's
know.
Small.
All right, why don't we take a short break for some public service announcements, and then we'll come back with a couple of more questions, and then everybody can go.
Thank you.
We have to.
Hi, it's Gary LaPierre, and the crew wants to thank Maxie's Delicatessen. That's at 117 Sharon Street in Stoughton. They're 781-341-1662. American Cancer Society, yes, they're looking for volunteers. Drive cancer patients to and from their treatments. 1-800-ACS-6662. Or just go to www.cancer.org. Ilsa Mark's Food Pantry in St. Anthony's Free Market, 2 Park Avenue in Stoughton. For more information, call Christine Gallagher. That's at 781-341-0611 or 781-341-0549. Meals on Wheels. Just ask for Jessica. You'll find her at 781-344-8882, extension 2. Stoughton Penny Saver. Our business is advertising your business, they tell us. 27 Rose Glen Street, Stoughton, 781-344-4833. Community Forum showtimes in Stoughton. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 6 p.m., Monday at 8 p.m., Tuesday at 5 p.m. It's on Comcast Channel 9 and Verizon Channel 28. All comments and suggestions welcome. Contact us at communityforum1@yahoo.com. Samaritans, they're at 41 West Street on the 4th floor in Boston, 02111. Their phone number is 617-536-2460. 24-hour helplines for Samaritans, and the number is 877-870-HOPE. That's 877-870-4673. Samaritans, you can find them at 800-252-TEEN. That's 252-8336. Or find them online at SamaritansHope.org.
We should talk that we've done a mailing recently.
We get bingo on there.
Steve.
Oh, the Monday night bingo. I'm sorry, I was tied up in a conversation here with the guests. The Monday night bingo is ongoing at the Ahava Torah congregation, which is located at 1179 Central Street in Stoughton. The doors open at 4:30 p.m. The game started at 6:30 p.m. And they got some pretty big prizes going on. They have one of the main coveralls, I believe, is $1,199, and another one is $3,000. So come down, be a winner, and walk out with some cash, and we'll have a little party, I guess. Once in a
Donate
while,
it to the library.
yes, they
Yeah,
can do
that's a
that.
good idea.
That's
By a
good
computer
idea.
station.
Yeah, buy 2 computer
Yeah.
stations. So that's the bingo at Ahava Torah. And Sharon, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, Get Fresh, it's Stoughton's own cooking show, which hopefully many of you have already watched.
Who hosts that show?
I am the host of that show,
Okay.
and I do it in conjunction with Carlos Vargas, occasionally with Laura McDougall, and with guest chefs throughout the community. We're starting to tape, we're going to tape 12 new shows this spring, summer, and fall, and they will play once a month, new shows once a month, every month. And then they play many times, as you can see, Mondays at 5:30, Wednesdays at 8, Thursdays at 9, and Fridays at 5, and other times in between. It's a half-hour cooking show where we just try to make everybody comfortable in the kitchen.
You've come a long way, Sharon.
I really have, yeah.
Tell
I really
everybody
have.
where they can see back issues.
What?
Tell everybody where they can see back
You can
programs.
go on to the StoughtonTV.com and hit media, a video on demand.
Right.
And then Get Fresh, which is the name of our show. And you can see all the, it's been like 4 years we've been doing shows. And we have some really interesting stuff coming up. We're taping shows next week, and one of the shows is going to be with our own town moderator, Adam Dawkins, who's a Southern boy, and he's going to do some cornbread
Oh,
in a
nice.
few
Oh,
different ways.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another one here, Sharon. You've talked enough about that one?
Yeah, I did.
Hometown Business Show. This is a show that if you have a business in town and you want to highlight it, we'll send a crew down there and we'll have Steve Kelly or someone go in and entertain. And
Does
Why
he
can't
dance?
I can't get the word
Does
out of
he
my mouth?
dance?
Huh? No, he's not doing any dancing. He may sing a song. I don't know about that. But anyways, Steve, we had you on several years
Yes.
ago, and people are still talking to you about it?
It's on our Copley website, and I still get calls about it.
That's amazing. Compliments, I hope.
Compliments,
Yes, that was a good show. That's on Tuesdays at 11 o'clock in the morning, Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m., Sundays at 7 p.m., and both on Comcast 9 and Verizon 28. The new show on, well, it's not new anymore, but we'll call it the new show on Smack. It's called We Are United for a Healthy Stoughton. That one there, you can see on Mondays at 5 p.m., Tuesdays at 9 a.m., Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m., Fridays at 11 a.m., both on Comcast 9 and Verizon 28. And that's it for the announcements. We have, Steve, you want to talk about where they can see?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that there are links on the website as well to the library groundbreaking, the building committee update, and an announcement, public service announcement that Christine Ayakabachi and Jeff Pickett did on the outreach services at the library. And those are being periodically updated as well. I'll be posting, this, so if people want to go and look at it again, they'll have a link to it. So there's a lot of good information out there and links to other places to go to see even more.
Everything you ever wanted to know about the library.
Right there before you.
Well, Steve's
Right
done
there
a-
before
done
your
a
very
great
eyes.
job, of keeping it fresh,
Yeah.
which is really
That's
important
nice.
for websites.
And the other Steve has done a great job with the promotion material that he's been working on, even from
Yes.
afar.
Tell about the letter a little bit, that we did a mailing just recently.
We have done a mailing. We sent out a photograph of the building as it was the day we sent out the mailing. Anyhow, it was about a week or so ago.
Right.
And
Steel
we,
beams exposed.
What's that?
The steel
The
beams were
outside
exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it talked about how the building is coming along, but we're talking about the library of the future again in the letter.
Did they have a signing ceremony for the
They did
top
for the beam, yeah,
Yeah.
they did. We weren't around for that, but they did.
You should have come
We were
back.
out of the area.
Just
You were out of
flown
town.
back just to sign the beam.
That's right,
Yeah.
you should have.
Yeah, they absolutely did.
I was involved with that when they built the Reebok headquarters.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And they just did it for the high school too, as well.
right.
But, just because some people have said to me, and I don't want to speak for the high school, but some people have said, well, the high school's probably going to want donations too. And what we have been told is they are not doing naming like this. The high school isn't doing that type of a thing.
Just gonna be the high
So they
school
won't be
today.
hitting people up
That's
for
what?
naming.
It's just going to be the high school today.
That the high school can always use money for programs and things like that, probably true, once they open. But what they've said is it's not going to be a big conflict, like I'm going to save my money for when the high school needs a room named, because they're not doing the same thing we were told.
How can we promote gifts if the donors desire to do so?
It's really easy to make a gift. As Steve mentioned, you can do it through PayPal on the website. You can mail a check, which many people have done, to our SOLA addresses at the libraries, just so it's a place where checks are always received. So that's 529 Washington Street, Stoughton, Mass. For right now. And I actually just got a request today to send somebody information on wire transfer ability so that they can transfer their money from perhaps even out of the country. You know, people that lived here and graduated here and cared about Stoughton, whose parents may still live here, it doesn't matter, they can be in Timbuktu. If they have the resources and they care, it can be for someone who passed away, it can be for someone who's alive, it can be for your family, it can be in honor, as Dolores' son did in her honor for the bench. And you know, the Frankels, Mel and Dory, donated a quiet room at in the ESOL
nice.
area, just because they wanted to and cared about it.
Right.
And actually, I think Mel has been a tutor in the ESOL program. I don't know that Dory did
Dory
that,
has
but
too.
Dory does too. So, you know, people that care and are involved in the community, there's always a way for them to donate. And honestly, even though we've listed the items from 2,000 to 100,000, you know, you can always send a check if you want to at whatever amount works for you. And it will be certainly used for the same purposes. It just, you won't get a name.
Or, you know, you can call the library, call Sharon, call me, to just talk about, you know, you want to give money, but
What's the best way?
what's the
or
best
how?
way? We'll be glad to talk to you.
Cash or check is always the best way.
Whatever.
Come to me with piles of money in a bag. No, I'm only kidding.
We'll send a committee out to beg.
Is there a mailing list available of past graduates of the high school?
It's been difficult to get, I mean, I
Privacy.
think some of it's a privacy issue.
Yeah,
But,
those
you
are
know,
all-
there have been a lot of wall of achievement people on the high
Yeah.
school, but the contact information isn't really available for those people, so you have no idea. And Steve Wilkinson can tell you, and Dolores and other people that aren't sitting here, how we've scoured phone books and online and searches to try to locate people that someone like Steve might say, oh, you want to call, you know,
Yeah.
whatever, Joe Smith.
A
He'd
lot-
be a good person. Oh, we don't know where he is.
A lot of the conversations early on, somebody would mention, what about so-and-so, what about so-and-so? And we'd write it down and then see if we could find a place to locate them. We put those all into a database
Yes.
that we used for the letters that we send out and to keep track of things.
Right.
Is
So
there
thousands and
follow-up
thousands.
to the letters you send out? Is there follow-up?
there will be.
There will
Yeah.
be.
We will be
Did you
calling.
get the letter?
The letters just went out, so we're going to follow up with them
And everyone didn't get the
soon.
letter because it's very costly to mail to the whole town.
You're talking
We've
about
put ads in
thousands
the
and
penny
thousands of high
saver,
school graduates that you
Yeah.
could mail to at a half a buck a piece.
and it would be hard to find them as well. You know, we put 2 ads in the penny saver, and full-page ads with the list of the naming opportunities. We did mailing this brochure with the photo of the up-to-date library and a letter that Steve wrote. And those we're going to follow up on. But honestly, if anybody watching the show knows anybody that they think would really want this kind of an opportunity and would care about having their name, you know, for posterity and supporting the library in this way, please call or email or send a message to the website or whatever.
Can we put up that, the contact list again, please? Gina? There we go.
Right.
You can
So-
read it.
Well, it's supportourlibrary.org and solastoughton@gmail.com and 781-856-5245 and our Facebook, Sola Stoughton. And feel free to go to the library and ask or leave a note or leave a message, because Sola, you know, picks up mail there on a regular basis.
Or just drop off money in a plain brown paper bag.
Yeah, right.
So
Any
this-
thoughts of a SOLA a-thon?
Sola-a-thon. You mean to
A-thon.
raise money?
Raise like a live TV
We didn't think
fundraising?
about that. Do we have enough, like, famous people in town that could come on and do an act or a dance
We
or
could do-
sing?
I know the town of Easton does it with their annual fundraiser.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Lions Club, I think. they
Lions,
say,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be live
I
on,
don't
you
know.
can call in, you have all you people with telephones and,
A solathon.
You
That's
know,
it. Just a thought.
we haven't thought about it, and we'd be happy for you to put it together.
Okay.
I have to be honest with you. SOLA, the board is probably, you know, 10 people. and there are some other members of SOLA. We work really, really hard, and everybody knows that, but we've worked really hard on this project. So, we're limited. If anybody out there wants to join SOLA, it's only $25 for an individual, a family. A family
Yeah,
might be
family
more.
member.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then $75, I think, for a business. And then you can help us in any way, because there's lots of ways to help. But again, if you know people that you think deserve an honor and it can be funded, please, please, please don't hesitate to be in touch with somebody.
And if you have any ideas for fundraising,
Yeah, certainly.
share 'em.
We're open. We're open. Yeah.
well,
I got people that I would love to see something named for, like Peggy Sewick, that have worked so hard for Stoughton and still does Story Hour every day.
at this time, I would like to thank each and every one of you. Sharon Fradkin, she's the chair of SOLA.
I'm not. I'm the chair of the steering committee.
Chair
of
chair of the capital
the capital campaign.
Sorry.
Correct.
Steve Tyre, definitely welcome to you. It's nice to have you back on. He's the administrator at the Copley of Stoughton. Dolores Cummings, principal.
President.
President.
I know, but you're also the principal, aren't you?
No,
No,
No?
That's somebody
Okay.
else.
That's who?
that's somebody else.
Oh, it's somebody,
Yeah.
okay. I'm trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
throw something extra
Yeah.
in there. Dolores Cummings is the president of SOLA.
It's certainly a principal figure, but
Yes. Steve Wilkinson, a member of the board of directors and a member of the capital campaign committee. And last but not least, Steve Fradkin, my friend Steve Fradkin, former president of the Wizard of Ads.
we've got a whole den of Steves here.
Yeah, I know.
It's a very
It's
popular
tough to keep it
name.
under control. My special thanks to Jeff Pickett, CJ Mullen, Mike Hammond, Gina Coe, for all of the efforts put into making this show happen. And this is Roy Cohen. It's a pleasure to host the show, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.